Welcome to Ridge Life. I'm Tim, and today on the Ridge, we have got a lot of work to do. We just finished getting our sill plate installed on our off-grid barn house, and we noticed more things missing. That's right, we missed our HVAC cutout, we missed our water line, we missed our septic line, we missed some corner crawl space ventilation. Yeah, we did. We got all that fixed, but today we've got to get a hammer drill out and commence to drilling. Let me show you what I got. That's right, the sill plate is down. Everything is nice and square. Very, very happy with that, but we can see we've got long expanses without anchor bolts. These are J anchor bolts that are embedded down in the concrete about 7 inches deep with a few inches sticking out the top. Well, there's none in certain areas. Some are actually really close to splice points too, and you can't have that. You're supposed to have an anchor within 12 inches of a corner or a joint. Well, you can see right there, that is more than 12 inches. Matter of fact, that one over there is too far away as well. Same thing right there, big O area, none at the splice. Matter of fact, we got tons of them all the way around. We even have areas like right here where this is where one of those spots we missed our corner ventilation. You're supposed to have a vent 3 feet from any corner, and we did not. They were 8 or 9 feet away on both sides, so we had to get that installed. Well, there was a J-bolt right there, so that when the block went away, the J-bolt went away. So we've got to get another anchor again 12 inches from that edge. What are we going to use to make it happen? We're going to use a 1/2-inch hammer drill. This is a 120 volt plug-in style hammer drill with lots and lots of power. We're also going to use these 1/2-inch by 5.5-inch wedge anchors, Redhead brand wedge anchors. Now you're saying, hey, 5.5 inches, that's not the 7 inches required by code for your J-bolts. Well, these are not J-bolts, these are wedge anchors, and that 5.5 inches meets the requirement for a wedge anchor on your anchor. Another point to mention is in addition to J-bolts, I've got Simpson strong tie straps. We can see we've got one right there that will go over the sill plate there. We got one right there that'll go over the sill plate there. We even have these big giant ones, which are for seismic, to connect to our structural insulated panels, our SIP walls. They'll go all the way up the outer band and up to the SIP wall. So we've got anchors, but we got to get some wedge anchors put in, again, 12 inches from the end to make me happy, happy, happy. One of the main reasons I want them is because, like I said, I've got an anchor there, and there's a splice and an anchor there. Well, this pressure treated 2x8 really has a tendency in this sun to cup and bow. And right now I've got screws. I got screws in there keeping it attached to the other one, but if I leave the rim joist off long enough, it will start to pop those out and start to bow out again. So getting those anchors installed now will help that in the future, and then it'll give me time to get the rim joist done on properly. In addition to the wedge anchors, I've also got to get sill plates installed on my interior piers. They've got J-bolts, they've got Simpson strong tie straps. I may end up having to move those J-bolts. They may be in the wrong place. My girders may interfere with them. If that's the case, I've got more wedge anchors that I can use instead. So will I have to cut them off? You'll have to check at the end of the video when we start working on the sill plate, so stick around. All right, down this line here, we're going to have a 2x12 3-wide girders. Same one over there, 2x12 3-wide girders. And then we'll have 16-foot joists going across there, 12-foot joists going across there. So along this line, I don't have to worry about where the bolts are placed because there's no joists going to hang on them. But over here, because the joists are going to go that way, I got to make sure that the 16 on center, I don't have an anchor where a joist is going to sit. That'd be very important not to have to be able to notch that out. Let's get the tape measure out here. Take it all the way down to the end. And this is going to tell me where my joists are going to go. So I can just set that right there. All right, pull this tight. Come on, get up on there. There we go. Come here a little closer and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if we look at the tape measure, and you got 1 foot marked in red, and then there's a little red diamond right by the 4. You see that? That is 16 inches. And if we look all the way down, we can see another one every 16 inches. So that will let us know where the floor joist should be, 16 on center, if we have our starting point right. So in this little short one right here, right there's the vent. I used to have a hole right over the vent, but I think I'm going to put one just the other side of it. Of course, right here I've got a joist going to be sitting. So I think what I can do is I can put it about right there, right? So we do it right there, and that'll give me a couple inches from the joist and a couple inches from the vent. Looking on down the line, we can see we do not have an anchor at the end of this long run right here, and the nearest joist is right there, so I can put one right there. All right, looking on down the line, we can see we've got one right there, a couple inches over. Here's a split, and 24 feet is actually where a diamond would be, but it's actually right on the number, so there's none here. So we can go about halfway down, so let's say about right there, be just fine. Now there's these big open areas here where really I could put one in the center there. If I've got enough, I may come back and fill those voids, but I want to make sure I have enough for all the splits first. I did buy 2 boxes of them, so I have 20. So I don't have one anywhere near the end here. I've got one at the end there. And let's see, right here at the 8 is a joist hanger coming right off of there if we put it. So let's go ahead and go right about there, should be good. Now, one thing to take into account is I'm going to have a double rim board. So to be 3 inches, inch and a half, and inch and a half, 2 by 12 rim joist coming down. That's why these anchors are offset, not center, but to the inside a little bit to give room for the double outer band. So I got to make sure when I put my new ones in, I account for that. So joists go this way, and so there's none going this way. So down this side and that end down there, it really doesn't matter. It's just that side over there and this side, making sure the bolts don't interfere. So this one here, the first corner we started, we do have one there, but it's not 12 inches from that connection. So I'm going to go ahead and put one right in there. That way it'll be towards the end, doesn't have to bow up, meets that 12-inch rule. And I see I need one right here. Again, we just go right there. Make sure it's the same distance from the end. Come on down. Now these, neither of them are 12 inches. So let's go ahead and put one on either side of it. On either side of it. Again, I'll measure to make sure it's far enough away. This one, I believe, is 12 inches. I'll have to measure it. If it's not 12 inches, I'll put one. But we had one right here in this hole, and I'll have to get my tape measure out to know where the rest of them go. But I should get one right in the corner here. Check this side since the joists are coming from it. See where that lines up with the diamonds. Ooh, this tape measure is hot sitting in the sun. It is a hot one today. Hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. All right. We've got that laid out there. Let's see. I need one on the end here. Okay, so right there. Let's see. Next one. This space here. It's kind of close right there. I can come on this side of it and this side of it. And same right here. There's one right there, so we'll go right there and right there. Come on down. We should be good. We got that one already. And back at the front of the house, so I got one there. Again, there's no joist. Joists go that way. So let's come in here and come on down. Here's a splice. I need one right here. And maybe one there later. And all right, we're good all the way. Oh, no, oh, right here, right here, right here, right here. Right there. I almost missed that splice. So that should take care of it. Some of y'all have never seen these wedge anchors before. These are from Redhead. Hilti makes them, a bunch of other people make them. These are 1/2 inch in diameter, 5.5 inch long, and they are hot dipped galvanized. That way they don't react with the pressure treating chemicals in this pressure treated plywood here. And so how it works is you drill it to a specific depth with a 1/2 inch, and then this little collar right here, see this little collar? Once I hammer this in, right, to a certain depth, and then I start to tighten the bolt, it will pull up on it, and this little wedge right here, this collar will wedge in place and secure it firmly down into the concrete. So I pre-positioned this nut, and I want about this much sticking up above the surface of the wood. So for that to happen, I need to drill basically from the tip of my drill bit all the way to where it comes out. That's a perfect gauge. So I'm going to drill all the way until pretty much this bit bottoms out, and that should give me, when I hammer it in, penetration that far into it and have this much sticking up. That's in theory at least. Now I may have to put a longer drill bit on here because this collar at the top may not evacuate the concrete debris and the wood debris enough. So I know the depth, so we'll try it, and if I need to put a bigger one on, I'll put a bigger one on. So I think right there looks good. Gotta go the right direction though. All right, here we go. All right, that went down there. I think that did all right. All right, I want to go ahead and put 2 nuts on there, and there's a reason I want to put 2 nuts. When I go to hammer it in with my sledgehammer here, having 2 nuts on there kind of helps me ensure that I don't damage the threads as much as just having the one on there. It kind of gives you a little more friction, a little more surface area. So let's pound this in, and it should go all the way down right there. There you go. I take this nut off, grab my bit or my drill. There we go. That's sunk down in there. That is tight, guys. That is tight. Right there should be good. Right there. Do that to help evacuate that out. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Got my washer, my 2 nuts on there. All the way down. Top nut off. Oh yeah, that bit in there nicely. Excellent. Y'all might have noticed on the first one, I didn't have my safety glasses or my hearing protection. I did on that second one. Always got to make sure you stay safe. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the longer bit on here. This one, I want a little bit deeper penetration, and I like how I think I can get a lot better evacuation of the debris with the longer one. So, and it is considerably longer. Now that's a drill bit. What movie is that from? Now that's a knife. I know I'm dating myself here. Y'all, I know y'all remember Paul Hogan. Come on now, come on. Everybody remembers Paul Hogan. Let me go the right direction here. Get this tightened up. There we go. Now this is a drill bit. Get that in there all the way. Okay, now I need to mark how far I want it to go, and I'm going to go a lot deeper than it was before. So I'll put a little tape right there. So right here is where I was going, so I think I'll put tape right there. And if I go to that depth, that should be just about right. All right, I got a splice right here, and I got 2 of them to do right next to each other. So let's go ahead and start with this one. Going backwards again, going backwards. All right, all the way down to the red tape. Let's do the same thing right here. clean that off. Give her a go. Oh yeah, that was a lot better. A lot better. Solid. Take top nut off. And tighten them down. Oh, that really pulled that board down, even with my screws in there. I had the screws to level it out. Oh yeah, that turned out really nice. Now I will say this, on some of those other attempts over there, I noticed I did not have my drill bit straight up and down, so the wedge anchor kind of went at an angle. I'm gonna try with the rest of these to be more mindful to make sure my drill is straight up and down. The same thing when you're putting screws in and all that, you're drilling pilot holes, you gotta make sure you do it straight. So, lesson learned. Get that nut off there. There we go. Alrighty. Nice. Nice and good and tight. All right, 5 down, 15 to go. Let's get to it.
In the heat of the day, I toil away, building this dream piece by piece, board by board, everything in its place. Done right, if not the first time it will be. Through the dust and the sweat, I keep my hands steady, I keep my head set. No shortcuts, no cheap fix. I learn it the hard way, I make it stick. Day by day on the ridge, day by day on the ridge, I make it happen. I make it happen. Day by day on the ridge, day by day on the ridge, board by board, I'm built to finish. Splinters in my palm, dirt on my face, a bent old nail, and a line of pulled dreams. I set the frame, I square the line. If it leans at all, I do it one more time. Through the dust and the sweat, I keep my hands steady, I keep my head set. No shortcuts, no cheap fix. I learn it the hard way, I make it stick. Day by day on the ridge, day by day on the ridge, I make it happen. I make it happen. Day by day on the ridge, day by day on the ridge, board by board, I'm built to finish. When the sun beats down and my back starts to bend, I remember why I started this again. Not for the praise, not for the show, just a name on the work, only I know. Day by day on the ridge, day by day on the ridge, I make it happen. Oh, I make it happen. Day by day on the ridge, day by day on the ridge, board by board, till the whole thing lives.
That was pretty tough in this summer sun and heat, guys. Oh my goodness. I had a little trouble on this side over here too. my bit came out, and everything was just so hot. Even with the gloves on, it was hard to get it in there. And then, of course, getting it straight. I mean, I don't know why I couldn't do it. I even said, I noticed the first time that I was going at an angle, and then of course I saw at least 5 or 6 more of them. I was like, I don't know what happened there, but hey guys, they are tight. We have 20 more anchors in our foundation. There's probably 40 or so in there now. And with that, with the Simpson strong tie straps and the seismic straps, this house ain't going nowhere, okay? Pardon my, Meredith says, don't say ain't. Well, it ain't going nowhere, Meredith. I promise you. she's a little bit risk averse. When those storms start coming in, she wants a strong house. Of course, we have to have a storm shelter too. That'd be another project here on the ridge. So, guys, speaking of another project, I got to go into the center columns now, find out where the center of them are for the sill plates that go on the center columns, where the ridge beams are going to cross. So I've got the dimensions. Let's go get a tape measure out there and see how close our columns are to true. All right, now we got to figure out where the center of our piers are. And I know the distance from my drawings from the edge of the foundation sill plate over to the center of the column, the distance between the two center of the columns, and then the next the edge. So let's go ahead and pull this out here. Let's see. Here we go. Let me get my numbers out and make sure I know what it is. 12 feet 1 inch and 3/4. 12 feet 1 inch and 3/4. All right. Pull this tight. 12 feet 1 inch and 3/4 right there. 12 feet 1 inch and 3/4. All right, so next I need to go over down here. I'm actually go on this end. Come on now. Do the same thing on this end. 12 feet 1 inch and 3/4. 12 feet 1 inch and 3/4. All right, I put the tape down there on that mark at 15 feet. So I should be 15 feet 8 1/2, which would be 30 feet 8 1/2, right there. Yes, we're good. All right, 12 feet 1 3/4. Let me go ahead and do the same thing on this, on the front of the house. Make sure I get it straight. 12 feet 1 3/4 right there. There we go. Make sure I get the point right. There we are. Like it. 12 feet 1 3/4. All right, let's move down and do the other end. All right, this end, 12 feet 1 3/4. Right there. Make sure I get the point at the right spot. We did. And 15 8 1/2 here. All right, now I should be able to snap a chalk line and get it put right on there. Snap a chalk line all the way down. Keep it up high. All right, pull it tight. Get it right over it, right there, perfect. All right, snap it. All right, let me snap a line under this column. Where we at here? Here we are. Get it straight on there. Well, I got a little conundrum. The pier here, you can see the center of it is just, I mean, from looking down where I did my chalk line, we are this side of the pier. It's the same thing over here, actually. We are this side of center for the chalk line. So the piers are a little bit in. So if we come back over here, I really don't, I mean, I like how the strap is going to go over the sill plate and they can go up the girder, but we are a little bit off center. Now, I did look at my mom's log home, and she has pretty much the same setup under her house and her crawl space, and they did run the 2x8 sill plate running with the girder. They did not run it perpendicular. You would think perpendicular would be stronger, but they ran it longitudinally with it. Of course, it's longer. It is the width of the cinder block, and you have a 2-inch overhang for the termite shield, so I have to get longer blocks. But all right, so I do not have to cut off those anchors for now, so I'm going to leave those where they are. I don't think they're going to be in my way right now. So when we come back, we'll have to work on rim joists and sill plates for the piers. Well, let me take that back. Okay, so over there, they put the anchor and the strap on the outside cells, but on here, they put it on the inside cells. So if I look right here, here's my chalk line, and they are right in the center of it. So yeah, those anchors are probably gonna have to go, because the 3-ply girder will be going over just inside of center, right? So that anchor is in the way. So over here on this other side, the one we started with, again, the anchor and the strap is on this side cell, and so the 3-ply girder will be, again, just on the inside cells of the pier. Yeah, that's a little different. Well, the sun is setting, and I am pooped. I did not make a decision on whether to cut off those anchors. The ones on this side aren't even under the sill plates. The sill plates won't even be near the anchors. So those anchors are useless. I can leave them there, or I can take them off. The straps will still go over the sill plate. On the other piers, because they put the strap and the anchor in the same orientation cell on both the piers, that put them directly under the girders. And I'm not gonna notch out my girders. So I still have the strap to go around the sill plate and go up the girder. But so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna cut all the anchors off on that side, and knowing Tim being OCD like he is, he'll probably cut them all off, because he had the straps. The straps are just fine. My mom's log home, built just a few years ago, same code, just uses straps. No anchors on the interior piers, just uses the Simpson strong tie strap. So if you have an opinion, let me know down below. Would you cut them off? Would you leave them? Would you notch out your girders? It's a 3-ply 2x6, 2x12 by 16 by 40 long, 16 feet pieces, 40, you know, laminated together. Would you cut them off, or would you leave them? Let me know in the comments down below. I am pooped. I am done. Hopefully you like my song I did earlier. Board by board. That's how we're doing it. You know, hole by hole, bolt by bolt, board by board, block by block, cut by cut, sweat drop by sweat drop. So guys, I love every single one of you. Again, hopefully you did enjoy today's video. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up. Like, share, and subscribe. Always 100% free. Hit that notification bell right down there to be notified anytime a new video comes out, one of our channels. Guys, if you've got a hype on a mobile device, I'd appreciate it if you hit that too. So until next time, hope everyone has a blessed day. Stay with me and go ridge dive.